Church, riddle me this. If Miguel is dressed up as the pimp with health insurance, doesn't that make Lindy the hoe without? I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. Y'all, so let's jump right on in with these friend events. So y'all, I love when the friends come over because it either does one of two things. It either reinforces that you guys are on a really good path, or it highlights issues in your relationship that you need to work on and gives you the people closest to your spouse with which to ask these damn questions. So really, really good all around. In terms of the themes, in terms of, which couple had the best theme, I really liked Krysten and Mitch's, which was retro future, right? Really loved it. I thought it was the most inventive out of all of the damn couples. But I just have one quick caveat, okay? The thing that irritated me the most is, y'all, I know Mitch is Captain Save a Planet, okay? I recognize it. I accept it. It is what it is, all right? But following in that, if Krysten put the plastic shot glasses in her cart and Mitch had such a, tirade about them, he does not like them, they're not sustainable, he needs things that are more reusable, then baby, where is your damn credit card? Okay, let's talk about that. Where is your money? Because it can't be always Captain Save a Planet on my damn budget, okay? And he was kind of a killjoy if you think about it, right? Because if the lady is so excited about, all the things that she's buying for the party and decorating and making it this inventive theme and stuff, and then you come with this whole sustainability thing, it's gonna have to be, a level footing on both sides, right? Like, we're gonna have to baby step our way into this, because to me, it seems like you are going to be the killjoy in the relationship, trying to bring somebody up under these rules that you've historically gone under, but they're new to her, right? So I understand his sentiments surrounding it. I just thought that the execution was a little bit dodgy, right? So listen, you want the sustainable cups, baby? Not a problem. If they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times the damn budget, I'm going to need you to bring your credit card out, because this is not going to always be on me. Now let's move on to our general couple updates, and we'll start with Alexis and Justin. So Justin has withheld Newton vomiting and not eating for 2 days. Now, before I criticize somebody, I always like to try to extend a hand to them, right? Like, we got to extend, if I'm going to give you, constructive criticism, I have to give you something good to start. Okay, so let's start with this, just in terms of level setting, y'all. I want to congratulate Justin for not doing his normal MO and dissolving into a puddle of tears, okay? Congratulations, Justin, congratulations. My problem with the situation, y'all, is it's the overcorrection for me, right? It can't be two ends of the spectrum. It can't be you're either dissolving into a puddle of tears, crying, wiping your eyes, it's woe is me, or it's you're loud, you're angry, you're cussing, okay? Two opposite ends of the spectrum, too much of an overcorrection for me. It has to be somewhere in the middle, okay? You have to develop some sort of middle. My thing in an argument is that both people cannot be rah, 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 okay? Somebody has to be rah, 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 and somebody has to be calm, right? And I think sometimes it's not necessarily what you did, it's how you reacted to it, right? So had you made the mistake and it was a very calm exchange and there was no loudness, no anger, no carrying on, I think it would have gone better than you basically getting loud, getting angry, carrying on, and amplifying the situation that was already a fool to begin with, right? Now listen, Justin was dead ass wrong, okay? For me, I would hope that after I have a conversation with my spouse about correcting some sort of behavior, that, they're still going to make missteps, but I would hope it wasn't the same next exchange where they made the same mistake that they made before. Like, give me to, incident 3 or incident 5 or incident 7. Like, the next incidents we have is basically you withholding information, being vague again. It just seemed really upsetting, and I could understand what Alexis was saying, right? And it really speaks back to that whole, you can't sugarcoat everything based on how you think I'm going to react. Tell me the full truth. Don't intentionally misrepresent the situation, right? I understand that you have to kind of give people grace in terms of they're not going to make a change overnight when they've historically always done the same thing, right? So you have to make some allowance for that. But like I said before, I just wish that it was like the 5th or the 7th or the 9th incident versus the same next day or the same next week. You're making a mistake that, goes right back to the issue at hand in terms of you being vague and withholding information. Now, furthermore, y'all, the thing that irritated me the most about the whole situation is that Justin kept saying that he was handling it, okay? Y'all, Sesame Street taught me my ABCs, my 1, 2, 3s, and how to recognize patterns, okay? But if you are not a veterinarian, exactly how is your ass handling it? Let's get into it. You are not a vet. You are not an animal specialist. Yes, you have a dog of your own, but if the dog is vomiting for 2 days straight and not eating, clearly your handling of it is not going well, okay? Furthermore, it's the intentions of it for me, right? Because this is intentional misrepresentation to the T, right? If you think about it, if the dog is vomiting and not eating for 2 days, you're consistently putting food out for those 2 days. And when the dog is not eating it, you're taking it away, putting it back in the container and keeping it from Alexis, right? So it's the whole psychology of it for me, right? Because you're intentionally misrepresenting the situation at hand. Now, furthermore, I kind of question Alexis a little bit in this scenario, because if you're so close to this dog as you claim that you are, exactly how did Justin, how was he able to feed the dog for 2 days, you not really pick up on it, and the dog is vomiting and you don't know? So y'all gonna have to reconcile that a little bit for me, but we're just gonna say that maybe Justin took the head position in terms of trying to remedy Newton back to better health because his dog was the one that upset the whole situation. So let's say that. Excuse me. Now on the Alexis side, y'all, she is not an angel, right? And I think we have to really talk about that part, because Alexis keeps saying, I'm done, I'm out, okay? And I think for Justin, if I'm going to come to his defense in a certain sense, it's the cognitive dissonance of the situation, right? It's the fact that you're saying, if something happens or I do something that you don't like, I'm done, I'm out, right? So it's you saying I'm done, I'm out, but then coming back home, right? So it's the cognitive dissonance. What you're saying is not matching what you're doing, so I cannot trust this pattern going forward in our relationship in terms of how you're going to react. So to combat that, I get vague, I get intentionally misrepresentative, right? And I'm not excusing his behavior, I'm just saying that I can understand it based on how she moves sometimes. I really feel that if Alexis just reframes the whole I'm out, I'm done to maybe I need to take a step back, I need to think about it, I think that could do wonders for Justin's sensibility in the situation, right? Because I'm out, I'm done is very final, whereas I need to take a step back, I need to gather my thoughts is more, it's more, therapy based, it's more collaborative, it's more understandable, right? And I think for both of you, you're going to have to reformat how you viewed relationships or how you've interacted with relationships in the past, because yes, this is a new relationship, but it's also a marriage, but it's also something that you guys want to collaborate on and see go the distance, right? So if that's the case, y'all are both going to need to reform how you view relationships and how you act in them, and also give each other grace when you fall a bit short. Now let's move on to Stacia and Nate, y'all. So Nate has signed up for therapy. Now, I think that is absolutely wonderful. As a person who goes to therapy every single week, I salute Nate for realizing that maybe, this is something that he is not used to, and he's trying to go find someone that can give him the tools with which to make his relationship better. Absolutely love it. Now, I think it really took, y'all's comments in terms of my prior videos, as well as watching this current episode, for me to have the aha moment in terms of Nate and why that sort of emotional vulnerability side of him is kind of locked away, right? So if you look at it on the surface, it's like, oh, he's just not in tune with his emotions. But once you break it down a little bit, it's more understandable. If you have a father that's in the military, and I'm not speaking for all military fathers, I'm just speaking for the lion's share of them, or kind of the stereotypes that go with that kind of employment. Those guys are usually very closed off from their emotions, very emotionally unavailable, right? So if you have a father that's emotionally unavailable, right? And then you have a mother who, exited the situation stage left from the get-go and never taught you how to treat a woman, never taught you what a woman expects, never gave you that kind of love. In the eternal words of Nene Leakes, baby, the door is closed, okay? His emotional vulnerability door is closed. So I think it's great that he can recognize that, Stacia goes to therapy. She's been doing this for a longer time. She's more in tune with her emotions because she's already worked this through in therapy. And if it worked for her, maybe it can work for me too. Now, moving on to this whole sex thing. So apparently Stacia done let the man nibble on it, but he couldn't slide into home plate. Listen, Stacia is a woman after my own heart because I told Lindy, baby, and to a lesser extent, I told Krysten, you do not give up your parts until you have all your damn questions answered to your damn satisfaction, okay? So Stacia said, listen, I'm going to let him nibble on it, okay? I'm going to get me some enjoyment out of it, get me some pleasure, and I'm going to let him know that I'm into him like that, but I'm going to make him wait until I feel more comfortable about where we are in the damn relationship. I saluted, and yeah, it might be a little bait and switchy for the Nate side, but listen, you said you a giver, okay? And she was into receiving, so listen, you basically set that damn situation up for you to fail or succeed by your own rubric. Now let's move on to Krysten and Mitch. So Krysten tells Mitch her deepest, darkest secret, that she was jilted at the altar by her cheating fiance. Now, first and foremost, Krysten, if the fact that you were jilted at the altar by your cheating fiance is your deepest, darkest secret, then mama, I want to salute you because you have lived a very charmed life. You have lived an extremely charmed life. I'm thinking deepest, darkest secret, I done mowed over somebody in my damn car. Baby, I done committed tax fraud and the IRS is on my ass, okay? Like, I was a drug mule down to Mexico. Like, make it a good, deep, dark secret. But yours was that, your fiance cheated on you and you didn't get married. Now, listen, I think this whole situation between Krysten and Mitch, it really reinforces this notion of human behavior in that people are pattern based, okay? If I always give somebody X input and they respond with Y effect, then I'm going to use that rubric for every single relationship afterwards, right? Or every single relationship subsequently, right? And so listen, I don't know her dating life post when she got, jilted with the altar and the fiance cheated, but let's just say it was 3 people that she dealt with before she got married at first sight, right? And so if in each of those 3 scenarios, she told them the secret and it ended in Y outcome in terms of them leaving, I can understand and I can sympathize with that situation in terms of her associating that story with something that's going to make the people leave. But as I told her last review, y'all, it's better to let people leave and to tell them the information that may potentially make them leave on the front end better than the back end, right? Because the back end will hurt more. So it's going to hurt both ways, but the back end hurts more because the back end is when you're more invested in it and you put more time in it. But if you tell them on the front end and they leave, then, oh, well, they left, okay? And people need to kind of reformat this whole I'm going to tell somebody something and they may leave thing, right? Because if they leave, it's not this big, huge, horrible thing, right? Yes, you're going to feel a certain way. Yes, you had hopes and dreams about the situation, but you need to reformat it. Reformat it. Think of it like this. Them leaving is opening space for somebody who's going to stay the distance to come into my life, okay? How about that, somebody? Them leaving is opening the door for the person who's going to stay a lifetime, okay? Reformat your thinking. Now, in terms of Mitch's reaction when she told him, Mitch is honest. He's unapologetically honest, and that's what kind of goes along with it, okay? It's he has a thought, he has to get it out of his face, his throat, and his teeth. That's how it works. So when she said that she used her life savings and took everybody who was invited to the wedding, sans the damn husband who cheated on her on this damn vacation and spent up all her money. And he said, I think he said something to the effect of, that's odd, right? That was probably an internal thought that should have stayed inside, but because Mitch is unapologetically honest, it came out how it came out, okay? And listen, quiet as it's kept, it is very odd, okay? To a rational mind, and I understand both sides of it, y'all, but to a rational mind, spending your life savings on one event is a bit odd, right? Now, it had a beautiful story tied to it, or a bad story which was morphed into a beautiful story which, can help you understand it. But on the surface, spending your life savings or near to your life savings on one event is a little bit of odd behavior. So I'm going to give Mitch some grace in that, in terms of he can't help himself. And I think in time with Krysten, he'll develop a filter and learn to keep some thoughts internal versus, spewing them out. But listen, the good part about it, Krysten, is that, hell, he don't seem like the type that's going to keep 6 months of cheating behind your back, okay? He seems like the type that he's going to come out at you in the beginning before he even feels the inkling to go cheat, so that y'all can, address it. So it may be your blessing in disguise that man can't keep his damn emotions or what he's feeling inside. Now let's move on to Lindy and Miguel. And let's talk about this whole issue of no last name, no health insurance. Y'all, let me tell you something. Miguel is still running circles around Lindy, and that girl don't get it. But listen, let me go through this as a rational, reasonable human being. I understand both sides of the damn situation. I truly do. On the Miguel side, if we are weighing my last name versus health insurance trumps my last name every single damn time. And what I mean by that is health insurance is much more important than my last name. I think people can sometimes minimize how important health insurance is in this country. We do not live in Canada. We do not live in Europe. There is not, a global healthcare system that we don't have to, pay for, that we just get just because we're citizens. Health insurance is very important, right? And all the man is saying is, I would just like a higher level of commitment before I put you on my insurance. It may seem wrong to some people. It may seem like he's, making a mountain out of a molehill, but I really identify with the higher level of commitment. If you think about it, yeah, we got married at first sight. Yeah, we got, paperwork in terms of validating this marriage, but they've been doing this for 15 seasons, okay? So I'm sure everything is baked into the damn marriage contract so that if it doesn't work out after 8 weeks, it's easy to get out of, right? But what's not easy to get out of is if we start having bank accounts together, property together, you're on my tax bills, you're on my health insurance. It's a higher level of commitment. And I think that's all that he's asking for in the scenario. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if you disagree or if you agree. Now on the Lindy side, y'all, I'm fully validating her feelings. I'm trying to understand both sides of the equation, right? But in my opinion, Lindy, you're kind of at a crossroads of a decision. And whenever I'm at a crossroads of a decision, I always come back to one central quote that I love to keep with me, which is, when you know where your values lie, there's no such thing as a hard decision, right? And so you have to decide what you value in the scenario, right? Do you value keeping your identity in terms of your last name, or do you value this health insurance? Because out of both of these damn two options, you're gonna have to pick one, okay? Now listen, I never tell somebody something without giving them helpful hints, helpful tips, helpful suggestions, and helpful ways to move forward. I only see two ways forward in this situation. Option number one, why don't you just split the damn pooch and just hyphenate, right? Like you said, your last name was Ellery, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if I'm wrong. But why don't you just hyphenate, right? Ellery, Lindy, Ellery, Santiago, right? And in that case, he gets what he wants, You keep part of your identity and you get the health insurance. Everybody goes home happy, right? Or option number two, baby, you can be just like me. Baby, I am self-employed, okay? Which means that my health insurance came from me tootsie rolling my ass down to the health insurance marketplace and getting me some good old Obamacare, okay? So this whole notion of you don't have insurance and you need insurance, you can get insurance. You got a degree, I'm assuming you got a job, and even if you don't got a job, they have a plan for the damn health insurance marketplace that can probably help your ass out. Now, I did not mean for this to turn into me doing, promo and marketing for the health insurance people. Somebody give me a check. Tell the Obamacare people that I'm over here doing the Lord's work, telling people about how, wonderful the damn coverage is. I need my damn check, okay? Now back to Lindy. You can do that. So one of those two options, either hyphenate your damn last name or get a damn plan through the health insurance marketplace so you don't even have to worry about his situation, his insurance, and whatever. But you're going to make a decision. Now listen, by the end of the damn episode, Miguel pretty much gave in and said, I will put you on my health insurance. Now, whether that's because he had a rational conversation with himself, whether he felt beat down by her, or whether the, sitting down with the other couples helped reformat his thinking, I don't know, okay? But I guess sometimes in marriage, you can either be right or you can be married, but sometimes you can't have both. And maybe he's relenting in this situation for a future situation where he's going to want to take, the active role or the winning role. So we shall see. So I truly don't know about the longevity of this damn couple because it just seems very tit for tat at its core a little bit. And the thing that I didn't really like is that when Lindy didn't get her way, she turned into a new person. Now, whether this is the true version of herself that she's been keeping stifled, y'all can decide down in the comments. But it seemed to me like she was putting 20 on 10, right? And I say that to say this. She started up with the, if you don't care about me or if I could go outside and get hit by a car and that's okay with you, then so be it, okay? I don't do the guilt trip. That does not work with me. And that's probably why I'm not married in a relationship or married at first sight. I don't do the guilt trip because, hell, I've had history of that with my parents, and it never works with me. I don't like the guilt trip. I don't like, you trying to make 20 out of 10. And baby, I don't negotiate with terrorists. That's completely me, okay? Just like the U.S. don't negotiate with terrorists, baby, I don't negotiate with terrorists in my damn relationship. So that shit wouldn't have worked out with me just to begin with, okay? But like I said, you can be right or you can be married, and he chose to be married in that scenario. I understand both of their perspectives though, and I don't think it was a out of the question ask for him to ask it, and I also don't think that if she went ahead and hyphenated it, I don't particularly know if that would have actually satisfied him, but to me, that was the compromise that could have made everything move forward with everybody feeling like they got something out of the situation. Let's move on to Morgan and Binh and talk about this notion if you're over it or not. Now, Steve Harvey, y'all, who I love and I listen to his morning show every day, he taught me something the other day or the other week or something, but he said, if I'm in a situation where I have apologized and I'm sincere in it and I'm trying to move forward with this person, but they cannot seem to get past it, you end up at a crossroads, right? And either you're going to get past it or you're going to die mad. And I think that's kind of where Morgan and Binh are at this damn juncture, right? Binh has apologized. He seems sincere. He wants to move forward. Morgan has accepted it. She's recognized it in her past. She would have been gone, but she's trying to move forward in a more constructive way. But she seems to keep harping on it, right? If you've accepted someone's apology and you're trying to move forward and you're trying to do better, you can't keep dragging it back to the same place because hell, one step forward and two steps back, nobody gets too far like that. That's a country song. I don't know who it's from and I don't know how it was in the recesses of my brain, but it fit this damn situation. Now listen, in terms of this Friends event, y'all, I want to talk about this notion of transparency or embarrassment. Now, I fully validate that when the friends come around, it creates a forum where if you're having problems, you can talk about them in an open way, right? And I think it's kind of two sides of the same coin, because on one side of the coin, you have the situation with Alexis and Justin, where they were among their friends, right? And Alexis said, you know, Justin, I know I normally come to you before I'm going to make any action, or to kind of tell our problems in a public forum, but I really need to get this off my chest, right? Fully understood that, fully got it, right? She communicated effectively with Justin in terms of what she was about to do, and she said it in a way that was nice, that everybody could understand and that everybody could have a fruitful conversation with, right? So that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is the Morgan and Binh situation, where it seemed that it wasn't the transparency of the Alexis and Justin situation, it was more embarrassment based, right? When the man is explaining what's happened in the relationship and you're over here saying, you know, or whispering underneath your breath, that's not how it happened, or he's not telling the whole story, or he needs to tell more. Like, do you want to tell the story, or do you want him to tell the story? Because it seems like it's more of a gimme gotcha situation, and you're trying to embarrass the man, not be transparent, find constructive ways to move forward and go forward with that, right? I really didn't like that situation. So I thought that, you know, the people basically told her, right, okay, if you're going to get past something, you're going to have to forgive him and move forward. Otherwise, you're never getting anywhere, okay? And I hope this is not an indicator of how Morgan is going to treat this whole process, because, baby, if you can't get past this one hurt, I don't know how you're going to view future relationships, right? Because people are human. They are going to disappoint you, okay? But it's what happens with that disappointment. If you tell somebody that they hurt you and they try to fix it, keep that person around. And if you tell them that something is wrong and they do nothing about that, then they do nothing about it, let them go, because they don't care. And I think Binh has shown that he cares, so you're going to need to facilitate an environment where you can move forward. Otherwise, this is not going to work. Now, y'all, I think that's really all I want to say on this episode. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, in the eternal words of Steve Harvey, either you're going to get over it or you're going to die mad. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.